15th of October 2022. This isn't financial advice. I don't take anything I say as such. This is an online journal for me to help improve my trading and keep myself transparent. As I've stated before, the idea is I want to make cash out of the market, to take that out and buy sort of more stable investments, which is in my case cash flow producing property. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's just start with Tesla. I was just reviewing my video from 2 videos ago, how I said increasing is looking very much like a stage 3 after this week's action. Yeah, further confirming that, in fact, technically I think now we're in a stage 4. We've sort of broken this this area of support here. So so much negativity. I mean, does it rally short term again? And who knows? But love the company, love the product, but don't love this stock price at all. So this is one of the great sort of leadership stocks, well, probably the great leadership from the last bull market from here. So that's cracking, not holding up. Wouldn't be surprised to see, you know, if a downside here. Yeah, and again, everything's so negative, who knows? But let's just play the ball, as we said. This to me looks very stage 3 to me after a very powerful stage 2. So this could either evolve into a stage 1, in which case at some point in the future we'll see a new stage 2 and all the Tesla bulls would be right, or at least in the short term, stage 3 could be precipitating into a stage 4, which I think honestly is on the balance of probability, and we've got sort of more downside to come here. So I'd actually like to see the stock come back. I missed this run like a clown. I've been sort of a fan of the company, or fan of the product I should say. Bought a Tesla, then failed to buy the stock, which is beyond stupid, I know. So anyway, imagine we have like a huge blow at the market further from what we are here, and you get the chance to buy this thing at some sort of a huge discount. Anyway, we'll see. Let's just go to the market. I'm going to go back to daily here. So again, touching this last video, sort of a very convincing down thrust here. A few good days, people get the hopes up, and then just gets rejected at a moving average. Had this sort of huge blowout on Thursday, and I honestly thought, well, hang on, this is interesting. How many traders would have been shaken out here? And we'll get to some of those individual charts in a moment. A lot of weekends would have been massive shakeout, and then sort of a big day. Now, of course, you wouldn't say that as the bottom. In CanSlim terms, you'd be saying, well, this is day 1 of the attempted rally, and we're looking for a follow-through day from day 4 onwards. And also, my other indicators wasn't saying it was a buy, but it was saying to me that, okay, let's get a bit positive here. Let's get an alert. Yeah, and then market just got a spanking 3% minus last night. Leadership stocks have just totally been blown out. So the only positive thing I can see at the moment is, well, I'd say 2 positive things. Things are so negative, but things have been negative all year. It hasn't stopped the market sort of continuing to tank. So you can't even really see that as a positive. Where there is a positive is it's normally around this time to January to December we have a seasonally strong period. So yeah, I sort of think, okay, it's been a lot of negativity. Prices have come down, values have come down. We're moving into a season. Inflation, I thought, was looking peaky. Maybe we'll have a bit of at least a rally going into Christmas. And after looking at yesterday, God, who knows, to tell you the truth. So from a market perspective, there's a red light for me, which is either to stay away, go short, which I rarely do, or at least just keep the positions extremely small, which I am. I mentioned leadership stocks getting blown out. Let's just go through a bunch of those. This is the one that I was in, sold the options. Remember I was saying any other market I probably wouldn't have been selling because would have been looking for a much bigger move here. Beautiful base, massive BGU, consolidated that, tagged the 50. Any other market, any sort of just normal market, I would have been betting this than me going on to much higher. So sold that. Now, I guess a good lesson here is just because you might think an individual chart is looking great, but if the overall market is on the way down, then you need to be very careful about holding that stock, or at least of sort of any size. So, yeah, I thought on Thursday, look at all those traders would have been blown out around here. There was a real trader washout day. Okay, pullback. Maybe this thing will reset, and then just got hammered -7% on volume, dropped below the 50-day moving average, stayed there. So yeah, in a world of hurt, I think that one is. Moving on to other leadership stocks, SWAV. This is one that's always been talked about on Twitter. Got sold below the 50-day moving average. But so again, so just take a step back. Nice long base, pushed out a massive volume, pullback. Okay, a little bit choppy, not too bad. But then, yeah, -8% last night after tagging the 50-day moving average. I don't think that looks very good at all. And that's a real sort of Twitterati sort of favorite, that one. On the semiconductor, similar, actually even worse. Pushed out of a nice base. Well, it popped its head out of a base here. Then it's actually been looking pretty shit, to tell you the truth. And that shitness has just continued there. So I can't see anything to get too excited about. Maybe best case is it's just going back to like a stage one here, and it just needs to keep doing that until it wants to push out. Okay. ENPH, again, another Twitter leadership momentum sort of favorite. Yeah, it's just getting destroyed now. So it's sort of moving to the 200-day moving average. Celsius, another really popular one, just getting hammered as well. You can see here that moving averages have turned into resistance. So -9%. Thanks for coming. One more. This is a topic on my last video here. Had that sort of big earnings day here, pretty big volume. I was thinking, okay, I was just going to try and wait for some sort of pullback here. The implied volatility in this one's super high. And to tell you the truth, on that day there, I thought, oh, geez, have I missed? Sorry, that one there, have I missed it? But probably not. -10% last night. So when you're seeing leaderships doing that, you have to take that into account of the overall read in the market, and there's only really one conclusion, and that's to be extremely cautious about what's going on here. Even this is not a leadership stock, but Northrop Grumman, so you think like, you know, good defence sort of stock with everything that's going on, even that just got sold off. So now I wanted to go to, where is it? Actually, I don't have the chart in front of me, but the put-call ratio isn't particularly high, which is concerning. So I think there's a scenario where we have some sort of major sell-off, even from these levels here. So I'll say the leadership stocks have properly failed. Put-call ratio is not high, so we're not seeing the real blowout in fear. You could argue that VIX is pretty high, but it's sort of, well, that's almost a new norm at the moment. So, you know, what could that blow out to if things get really, really loose? The fear of nuclear war hasn't really been factored into the market, I don't think. So, whilst I like to be positive and think, okay, well, there's so much negativity, it won't take much for things to go right, but equally, it wouldn't take much for things to go seriously further south from here as well. So, I'm going to just switch topics. Oil tankers are doing really well. Now, as I understand, this might be the driver here might be with all this conflict, that the need to transport oil around the world might increase a lot. So Nord Stream and other sort of gas pipelines might be used less, and therefore, yeah, the requirement to transport energy around the world may increase significantly. This was one I've never managed to trade, and really should have. But anyway, Scorpio Tankers, look at it. Last few days, how bad the market is. And this thing is just moving along like a true champion. Same with this one. I missed this. Had to pull back to the 50. Should have been in this one. Anyway, woulda, coulda, shoulda. One that I am in, I did mention this in a video that I was buying some options in, is GEO. GEO is a prison stock. It's been in a base for quite a period of time. Arguably, what's that, 18 months or so now. It's gone through a debt refinancing sort of through this period here. So it was a REIT. So as I understand it, was took on too much debt, that was killing it. And then the issue being a REIT is it's required by law to pay the majority of its income, I think 90% of its income, to unit holders. So to say that they've converted it from a REIT, I think just to a company. So all the cash that it's generating is now sort of just going onto the balance sheet. I understand they've done this debt restructuring, so it's almost like a Peabody sort of at the end of 2020 type deal, I think. Particular note, Mike Burry, he sold everything but this one stock. So I think that Mike Burry news came out here, and I'm sort of just taking that as a buyable gap up day. See that volume was just gigantic compared to pretty much last a very long period of time. As quite often these sort of moves do, had like a bit of a momentum burst and then gave that up, not surprisingly, with the market here. No, I don't. With these sort of smaller value type, more liquid stocks, you can't really read into the charts too much in moving averages, but I had to pull back to that 50-day moving average here. As well supported and sort of started pushing off there. So I've bought options through this period, not even 0.5% of the portfolio, but I figure that it gives me some exposure. If Mike Burry's in there and that's the only stock he thinks is worth holding, then if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. The chart looks good, especially for this sort of Bible gap up basis here. Sort of done what it should do, held up very well through this market pullback. So, and I think on balance we're probably going to see a shift to more value stocks going forward. So anyway, ideally I would like to trade more options. I have built up more of a core position than trade in and out of more shorter dated options to sort of try and get that purchase price of those options down and end up with sort of free exposure or something close to it. But anyway, we'll see how that one goes.